So the answer of A, R is equal to 0.89 and 8. Okay, so this is the answer of Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation for A. Now we will do the second one, which is B. So in part B, the information is given covariance, which is 9, standard deviation of X and standard deviation of Y. So, as I have told you that the formula for calculating R can be covariance divided by standard deviation of X and standard deviation of Y. So now, let's do the calculation. So, how to calculate? R is equal to covariance divided by standard deviation of X into standard deviation of Y, or you can say sigma X into sigma Y. So value of covariance is 9, okay, divided by sigma X and Y into Y. Sigma X is 4 multiplied by sigma Y, which is 7.4. Now further calculate it. 9 divided by, let's use the calculator for calculating, which is 4 multiplied by 7.4. So the answer is 29.6. 29.6. When we do the multiplication of 4 and 7.4, the answer will be 29.6. Okay. So now further, so the what will be the value of R is 9 divided by 29.6. Okay, let me calculate it. 9 divided by 29.6 is equal to 0.30. Okay, it is basically 0.30, or you can say 0.3. So as for part A, let me write it here. A, the answer of A, R is equal to, what was the answer? 0.889 and 8. Okay, and part B, R is equal to 0.3. Okay, now let's do the calculation of part C. So, as in C, the information is given, covariance of X and Y are given. Covariance of X and Y is 12 and covariance of X is 16 and variance of Y is 13.7. Okay, so what will be the formula for calculating R? Let me write down the formula first. So as in this question, the covariance of X and Y are given and the variance of X and Y are given. So the formula will be covariance of X and Y, which is already given in question, and divided it by under root variance of x multiply by variance of y. Okay, so this is how we do the calculation of R in this case. So as the information which is already given in question, covariance of x and y are given, which is the 12, and under root variance of x is 16, okay, and variance of y is 13.7. Understood? Now let's calculate it with the help of calculator. 16.16 basically 16 multiplied by 13.7. Okay, so the answer will come is 59.2. Let me write first. 12 divided by under root 59.2. Okay, under root of. Now, if we have to calculate, do the under root of 59.2, then it will be, let me, 59.2. It will come by after calculating. When we do the calculation, 12 divided by under root 16 into 13.7. So the multiplication of 16 into 13.7 will be 219.2. Now we will do the under root of 219.2 is 14.8. Is basically 12 divided by 14.2. Okay, now further we divide 12 by 14.2. The answer will be, so the answer will be 0.81. Okay, so this will be the answer. So what we have to do, we have to first put all the value in a formula. So the another formula for calculating Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation is R is equal to covariance of x and y divided by under root variance of x into variance of y. So after putting all the value, answer of part C is basically R is equal to 0.81. Okay, let me remove the other part of calculation. So these are the answer for this particular question. Now we will do the calculation of part D. Okay, so in D, the information is given is that the coefficient of correlation between two variable x and y is given. Okay, that is basically 0.8, and their covariance is 20. Okay, if the variance of x series is 16 and standard deviation of y, if the variance of x series is 16, find the standard deviation of y series. So in this question, we have given the value of R. Okay, the value of R is given, which is 0.8, and covariance is given, which is 20, and the standard deviation of x is given. We have to find out the standard deviation of series y. Okay, so we have to put all the values in a formula. So as we have already discussed the formula, let's put the value. So value of R is 0.8, okay, and covariance of X and Y is given, which is 20 divided by under root. So we have given variance of X, we can say standard deviation of X is given, sigma X is 16. So we have to find out the variance of Y. Okay. So variance of Y is not given in this question. So now let's calculate the standard deviation of series Y. So let's start with the calculation. So what we have to do is first let's remove this under root. So we remove this under root. So we take this under root towards 0.8. So when we do so, the value will change here. The under root. So the value will be 0.64 is equal to 20 divided by 16 into variance of Y. Okay. So now this will be the formula. So what we have to do next is let's solve this equation. So let's take the lower value, which is 16 into variance of Y, and multiply it by 0.64. So when we do the multiplication of all the values 0.64 and 16 into multiply Y variance of Y. So basically, so here is the space. Let me. So So what will it become? Basically, let's multiply first 16 into 0.64. It will be 10.24. 10.24 variance of Y is equal to 20. Now what we have to do? Variance of, let me write it Vy, okay? Variance of Y is equal to, so now what we do? So, as there is a little change in this question, basically when we remove this under root, so what we have did, we have multiply it by the under root. So value here will change. It is 400. Okay, it is 400 as we have applied under root on 0.8. So we forgot to do so on. Basically on 20, so this is 400. Let me make it correct here also. It is 400. Okay. So variance of Y is equal to 400 divided by 0.64. Okay, let me calculate it with the help of calculator. 400 divided by It's not 0.64, it's 10.24, okay? It's 10.24, okay? 400 divided by 10.24. So the answer will be 39.06. 39.06. Okay, so this is how we do the calculation. So let me write the answer here first, which is 39.06. Let me remove all this. So the answer of D part is, part D, R is equal to basically 39.06. Okay, now I hope you understood the calculation of Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation with various methods in which we understand the formulation of equation of correlation. Now we will discuss more questions of correlation in which we have given two data series basically. Let's start with the series which is given in questions. So as next question is calculate the coefficient of correlation between birth rate and the death rate of the following data. So in this question we have given two variables, as we have discussed that in correlation we check the relationship among the variables. So birth rate and death rate are two variables. So birth rate is given 24, 26, 32, 33, 35 and 30, and death rate is given 15, 20, 25, 2, 24, 27 and 24. So on the basis of this given information, we calculate coefficient of correlation, which is R. Okay. So on the basis of this, we calculate the value of R. Let me first write the birth rate, which is 24, 26, 32, 33, 35 and 30. Let me also write the death rate here. Basically this is x. Okay, what is this? This is x, value of x. So we have to first find out the mean and standard deviation, and with the help of that we will find out the value of R, coefficient of correlation. Okay, so let's start. So as I have told you that for calculating the value of R, we have to first calculate the value of mean and standard deviation. So how do we calculate mean? Let's revise this. Mean is denoted by x bar, and x bar is calculated by sigma x upon n. Okay, and similarly we will calculate the another variable, which is we assumed y. So mean of y, which is y bar, is sigma y divided by n. Okay, so this is how we calculate the value of mean for calculating R, which is coefficient of correlation, x bar and y bar. Okay, after that we need to calculate the standard deviation. Okay, we have to calculate sigma x, which is standard deviation of x, and we will calculate it by under root sigma d square x divided by n. Okay, and sigma y is calculated under root of sigma d by d square. Okay, this is square and divided by n, and this is whole root. Okay, so this is how we calculate sigma x and y, which is also known as standard deviation of x and standard deviation of y. So with the help of this, we calculate the value of r. So the formula of r, which we have already discussed, sigma dx and dy divided by n multiply by sigma x and multiply by sigma y. So the formula of calculating standard deviation of x and y is under root sigma d square x upon n and under root sigma d square y upon n. Okay, so this is how we calculate the coefficient of correlation. Let's solve this question first. So as x is already given for both the variables, so what we have to do is first we have to calculate the mean. Okay, what we have to do? We have to first calculate the mean of this given series. So let's first calculate the mean. Mean is equal to, so mean is the total of all this. We can say sum of all these value. So let me calculate all these value first. It's basically 0 and 9, it's 18. Okay, so value of mean is 180. Okay, mean it's not mean actually, it's the sum of x. Okay, it's sum of x. Okay, so how we have to calculate the value of mean? So value of mean is calculated for x. Let's first calculate it for x, for this one. Okay, x bar is equal to sum of x divided by n. What is the sum of x? Is 180, and n is the total number of observation, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 180 divided by 6. So the answer of mean is 30. Okay, so mean x is 30. Similarly, we have to calculate it for y. So sum of y is equal to, we have to calculate the value of add all these value. So this is, basically 2 and this is 13. Okay, so this is the sum. Now let's calculate the mean of y. Sorry, it's mean of y. Okay, so how to calculate this? Sigma y, we can say sum of y divided by n. Sum of y is 132. 132 divided by n is total number, which is 6, and the y bar is, let me calculate it. So y is basically 22. 2. Okay, so mean of x is 30 and mean of y is 22. Let me write this here, 30 and 22. Mean of x is equal to 30 and mean y is equal to 22. Okay, so now what we have to do is we have to calculate the value of dx. Okay, so now we have to calculate the value of dx. So how we calculate this value of dx? So we calculate the value of dx from the value of mean. From the value of mean. So dx from 30 and in this case in the variable y, dx from 22. Okay, so this is how we calculate the value of dx. So now dx is calculated from this x. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to minus mean from x minus x bar. This we have already discussed so many times. So dx, when we calculate dx from mean, so the formula is x minus x bar. Okay, so while we calculating this, we have to consider the plus minus. Where were we? So we are calculating the standard deviation for x, which is what it come. It's 90 divided by 6, which is under root of 15. Okay, so and standard deviation for y is equal to under root 86 divided by 6, which is under root of 14.33. So let's do the under root of 15. So when we do the under root of 15, it is 13.87 and it is under root of 14.33 is 3.79. Okay, so we have already calculated all the value. One is 90, 81, which is sum of x and y, and the lower value is 3.87 and 3.79, and value of n is 6. Let's solve this question and put all the values in a formula for calculating R, which is coefficient of correlation. Okay, so let's calculate the value of R. R is equal to sum of dx and dy divided by n into standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. So put all the value. Sum of dx and dy is 81. Okay, divided by n is 6. Multiply by standard deviation of x is 3.87. Standard deviation of y is 3.79. Now let's calculate 81 divided by, let's solve this with the help of calculator. So 6 multiply by 3.87 multiply by 3.79. So it's equal to 88. Okay, it's equal to 88. It is 88. So the value of R is equal to 0.92. So as this value came in positive, so let's put the sign of plus. Okay, so the coefficient of correlation, or we can say the Karl Pearson coefficient of correlation, which is denoted by R, the value of correlation is plus 0.92. So as value show that there is a positive correlation among the variables. As there is a high positive correlation among the death rate and the birth rate of given question. So as value is near +1, which is 0.92, it shows there is a high positive correlation among birth rate and death rate. So this is how we calculate the correlation, coefficient of correlation